Happy Sunday. I can't believe we are more than halfway through August of 2024. Time flies so fast. I don't even know what to say about it anymore. I really don't. It's insane for me. Maybe some of you feel the same way. Okay. So this is the week of August 12th. That's the Monday through Saturday, August 17th. All right. So on Monday, oh yeah, the SSA put out a big warning about this new con going on. It's called the Long Con. That's the nickname. And we go through what the SSA tells us is happening so that maybe any of you who have seen this or have seen a loved one perhaps get wrapped up into this kind of stuff. It's really bad. And it's going on as we speak. So that was the Monday. Tuesday. All right. This was in response to a viewer. If you are caretaking for somebody, there are repercussions if you're not working and getting paid, such as earning your credits and all that stuff for Social Security, disability, and or retirement. So we go over a little bit of the things related to caretaking because it really does depend on how you do it. And we also, at the end, I bumped into a little talk about the kin care programs that some localities have. Such as my own, I believe, but it's very confusing, hard to find. Most people don't know about it. And that's when people can actually be paid to caretake for their loved ones. Someone who would otherwise be in a nursing home. So anyway, we just touched on it a little bit. It was just a little hash out there. And how caretakers might want to think about protecting their own future while they're caretaking if the circumstance of their caretaking warrants it. Okay. Because everything is going to be very different based on that particular situation. That was Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Just reporting on what the SSA had just put out, 9 new compassionate allowance diagnoses. So we just do a quick rundown of what they are. That's it. Super short. There was, if you recall, last year around this time, the SSA put out 12 new compassionate allowance diagnoses. So I actually attached that to the end so that anyone who follows these things, which is probably the minority of you, compassionate allowance diagnoses are not all that common, but they're incredibly severe. And I'm very glad that they include them. Okay. Thursday the 15th. This is about long-term care and your benefits. If you go into long-term care or your loved one does, your spouse, what effect does that have on their Social Security disability or their Social Security retirement? Go into that. And then Friday, we had the fraud law review, and this time it was the state of Washington. In fact, it had to do with a worker of a credit union who stole IDs and defrauded the credit union customers. It was pretty bad. And of course, stealing IDs means stealing their Social Security numbers. All right, that was the 16th, Friday. Yesterday, the 17th. Oh, yeah, okay. Saturday, we went over a little function report item that came up. It's with regard to question number 13, which has to do with meal preparation. And this one was just kind of stemming off of an answer we saw about I make casseroles and how that could be, that answer left by itself may be damaging, and how you can easily avoid it if the shoe fits. Okay, so that was Saturday, guys. So the week of the 12th to the 17th, I hope you all had a great week. I hope you had an even better weekend and continue to enjoy your Sunday, and I will see you next week. Bye. So you just listened to the week's roundup of all 7 days right behind us and what those video tips were. Are you concerned if you didn't necessarily catch the ones from the week prior to that? Don't worry, we're going to attach it right here. Have a great week, guys. Bye. Happy Sunday. I think today's the 11th. All right, so We are doing the Sunday Social Security roundup. As you know, we had one last Sunday. We have one every Sunday that rounds up the videos from the week we just had. And you could see if you missed anything that would be of interest. All right. So here we have the August 5th. Can you believe it's August? We're over halfway through the year of 2024. August 5th through August 10th. So let's see what we got. Because my mind is a sieve and I just don't remember. All right, here we go. On Monday the 5th. Oh yeah, so we're talking about this new practice going on with the SSA where they are having people right now, anyway. This will change. It's not going to affect people next year, but people who filed before June, before the past relevant work rule changed, and we have videos on that. They created a new work history report to replace the old version. And they are now having people that, I don't know that it's all people, but people that did the old one, but now they want these new questions answered. They are having some people do a work history report redo. So we go into a little bit on that. I actually have a part 1 of the difference in the work history report, the current from the old. And if you look under the work history report playlist, you'll find it. I have to get the rest of it done. I keep meaning to do the next one, which would probably just be part 2. I don't think there'll be a part 2 and part 3 unless it gets a little lengthy, because part 2 is we're going to go through. Yeah, there probably will be a part 2 and part 3 now that I think about it, because they added a whole nother page to the work history report, a whole nother page per job. Okay. So we want to explain exactly what those things are and what you should know about those questions that you might not be thinking. That's in that other video. It even has the word part 1 in it, I think. And it just came out in like probably July of 2024. Okay, so that was Monday. Tuesday, August 6th. This was more about that SSA news about the new change in the method of accessing your online account. It will no longer be ssa.gov/my account using your SSA username. It is now going to be through something called login.gov and id.me. And people are having all sorts of comments about troubles they've had with the latter. But anyway, so I've had a few videos on this already. Only because come September, it's going to be the only way you can access any of your SSA information online. So if you like being able to go in there and see your benefits letter without having to go to SSA office or calling or writing them, or if you like seeing your earnings statement every year, which is a great idea that we should all be doing, make sure that our earnings are properly reflected. That's where you would be getting that. So I haven't even done it myself yet, guys, but this latest one is actually, they told us how to transition onto it. So I just kind of go over what they said. It's just a kind of a verbal explanation of what their little, I think it was a blog piece when they're talking about how to transition over, who, what, when, that kind of thing. August 7th, so that must be Wednesday. SSA had reminded us in an email I received of when you're receiving benefits, you still should be reporting certain things. And this could be if you're receiving retirement, survivor, disability, anything, because some of these changes in life can create an opportunity to have a bigger benefit for yourself, or to giving benefit to one of your family members that you may not realize could be getting one based on insurance coverage you may have. So that is gone over in that on Wednesday, August 7th. They also, it's a little bit of touching on reporting things so that you do not have an overpayment for certain other things, other changes that might be happening. So reporting when life changes occur can be really important. And we go into that a little bit there. August 8th. This was, I had just watched a bit of Attorney Walter had put out a video 6 days prior to when I did this, and I'm not sure what day that was. It was probably late July, but when he put it out. But and I was just talking about the beginning part when they're talking about how workers are needed to fund the Social Security, disability, and retirement funds. And with the baby boomers being, heavy-handed on collecting, of course, and the subsequent generations producing less children, it's put a little damper, so to speak, on the funds. And it seems to be the single biggest reason why we're always saying, oh my gosh, the funds are going to run out. So we go into that a little bit there. I apologize if I get a little lippy. But we all have opinions. Okay, August 9th, Friday, fraud law review. This is about a senior lady who has been scamming, and she's, I guess, good at it, but not so good she doesn't get caught. But what I thought was particularly funny was A, she's 73, and B, it's her fourth time doing it and getting caught. And I'm like, why do they don't have a grip on this lady? Should she even be? I mean, I know the jails are full, but technically you would think after 4, she should be locked up maybe. I don't know. So we'll see. I don't think she's getting locked up this time either. That was Friday. Saturday, someone asked me on the channel, how do I withdraw my application? I decided this isn't something I should be having. That could be happening for disability, but probably even more so for retirement. Sometimes people file and they realize I should have waited. So we go into that as well as the form to use, SSA 521, and just some of the basics of withdrawing your application and what it might mean. The good, the bad, the ugly. And okay, that was it. That was Saturday. So anyway, have a great week, guys. I hope you had a great weekend and continue to have a great weekend. And if you have any interesting SSA issues you'd like me to generally go over, always feel free to pop them up in a comment. Okay. I do get to all these comments, believe it or not. I don't have a million people giving them, so that's why I can do it. So anyway, I'm happy to try to do a video. I usually do things that pop up during the day, as you know. They're usually just off the cuff, but occasionally I'll do one slightly planned because someone asked me to. All right. I will talk to you later. Have a great week, guys. Bye.